Welcome back to Movies Insight. 17 long hours went into piecing together the threads of this film for you. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and support. Because what you're about to hear isn't just a movie breakdown, it's a tale of hunters and the hunted, of shadows and survival. This is the story of a war, a secret war, between two forces. On one side stand the jumpers, men and women gifted with an impossible power, the ability to vanish from one place and appear in another in the blink of an eye. And on the other side, the executioners, the Paladins. Ruthless zealots swarm to track, torture, and kill every jumper they can find. The tale begins with a boy, David Rice. His voice carries us to a lonely hilltop, where he reflects on where his life began, and where it all broke apart. The memory rushes back like a storm. He was young, hopelessly in love with a girl named Millie Harris. He wanted nothing more than to impress her. A simple gift, a snow globe, was supposed to mean everything. But fate is cruel. Another boy, jealous and cruel, snatched the gift away and hurled it into the deep snow. David chased after it, and the ground betrayed him. Ice shattered, waters swallowed him whole. He struggled, clawing for breath, and then something impossible happened. He vanished beneath the water and opened his eyes inside a library, dry and alive. That was the night of his first jump. The night reality tore open before him. But David's life was no fairy tale. His mother had abandoned him when he was 5. His father, an abusive alcoholic, gave him nothing but rage and neglect. That night, after another fight, David vanished from his bedroom and returned to the library. For the first time, he realized the truth. He could bend space itself. He could escape. He packed what little he had, stole some cash, and ran. Run away with a God's gift, but no control. Testing his power in the wild, he discovered how it worked. All he needed was a memory, a photograph, or a thought of a place. And he could be there. One thought, one breath, and the world was his doorway. But with power comes temptation. At just 15, David set his eyes on a bank vault. And in an instant, the vault was open, and his hands were buried in stacks of money. With riches stolen in silence, David built a new life, traveling, hiding, surviving. But shadows were watching. Enter Roland Cox, a man as cold as steel and twice as deadly. Leader of the Paladins, Roland lived by one belief: only God should have the power to be everywhere. And so, he had spent years hunting jumpers, stringing their corpses across the globe, building a network of fear. When whispers of the bank, robbery with no broken locks reached him, Roland's eyes turned toward David. 8 years passed. David grew into a man living in New York, walls covered in photographs of places he had touched. Rome, London, Paris, Dubai. The world lay beneath his fingertips, but Roland's net was closing. In the jungles of the Amazon, Roland slaughtered another jumper, dragging his body into the mud. The hunt was relentless. And then Roland found David. The attack was swift, brutal. David barely escaped with his life, but not without scars. Desperate, he returned to Millie, the girl from his past. She asked about his life. He lied, saying he worked in banking. But her eyes still dreamed of travel, and David gave her the impossible gift. Let's go to Rome. In Rome, David's secret world collided with another. A mysterious figure appeared. Griffin, a hardened, battle-scarred jumper who had survived the Paladins longer than anyone. Griffin was no fugitive. He was a soldier, fighting back, killing Paladins one by one. But when Paladins tracked them to Rome, the blood war ignited. Griffin butchered 2 of them, dragging one corpse back to his lair. David, horrified, followed, only to be warned. This is the only way. Kill them before they kill you. Meanwhile, Millie grew suspicious. Their trip turned into chaos when local police dragged David in for questioning. And there, standing in the shadows of the interrogation room, a shocking face appeared. David's estranged mother, a paladin, in uniform. She freed him, but her role remained a mystery. Back at home, Roland closed in, murdering David's father after squeezing him for secrets. When David discovered the body, rage and grief consumed him. He sought Griffin again, begging for an alliance. Roland was coming. Millie was in danger. But Griffin wanted vengeance, not protection. Their chase ripped across the world, through deserts and skylines, until Griffin finally agreed to fight alongside him. Armed with weapons forged for war, they prepared. But Roland was already moving, seizing Millie, drawing David into his trap. The final battle was a storm of teleportation and violence. Griffin unveiled a weapon capable of erasing Paladins in one devastating strike. But David stopped him. Millie's life was at stake, and he refused to sacrifice her. Their clash tore cities apart, ending with David chaining Griffin in high voltage power lines to stop his madness. Alone, David faced Roland, desperate to save Millie. But this is where the story bends, where destinies collide, where secrets about David's mother, Roland's obsession, and the true fate of the Jumpers remain hidden. For now, because in this war, nothing ends where you think it does. Stay with US, because the next chapter will shake everything you thought you knew.